Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are. And this is the weekly holiday show. I'm your host, Mr. James, in a back room in an undisclosed location. Yeah. Here are your selected holidays for the week of January 31st through February 4th, 2022. Wow. It's cold. And here in Maine, we just had a really bad snowstorm a few days ago, and we've been trying to dig ourselves out ever since. So hope you're doing well wherever you are in the country or out of country and wondering what's going on in the U.S. These are national holidays that happen in the U.S., but not saying they're that popular. They might be surprising to some of you. So let's start this off with Monday. We have Bubble Wrap Day. Think about this. So I'm just going to mention a company that does a lot of boxing up of items, Amazon. Think how much money they spend on bubble wrap. Think about the company that makes bubble wrap for them. That's a pretty good business, right? Bubble wrap keeps things inside of boxes safe. So when they get handled around and bounced around, they don't break, right? Like maybe something made out of glass or something that's just really fragile. So bubble wrap is really important. Now, a lot of my friends like to take bubble wrap and squeeze it and have them pop. And maybe before you throw them away or recycle them, that might be a good thing to do because it takes up less space, which means you can put more together. But bubble wrap and the technology behind it is always been improving. And if you watch somebody put bubble wrap together now, you'd be really surprised how it's done. But it does keep things safe, and it's much better than using what we used to call circus peanuts, which are those foam little peanut looking things, because styrofoam is not so good for the environment. Plastic isn't, but that plastic is really bad. So Tuesday, the 1st of February, Dark Chocolate Day. Ooh, dark chocolate. And I do have a mug of cocoa in my Bitmoji right here, but dark chocolate can be found anywhere. Now think about this. Milk chocolate, you add milk to it. Dark chocolate doesn't have the milk. It has cocoa, which is really important. It has cocoa butter, which makes things kind of stick together. It's kind of like a fat, and usually has some sugar. You can have one that has a lot of cocoa and a lot of cocoa butter and very little sugar, and it's going to be very bitter because chocolate is bitter, especially dark chocolate. But you can find one that has a little bit of sugar and balances things out. And of course, dark chocolate is better for you than milk chocolate because milk chocolate adds in milk and some other things to make it blend. And you want chocolate. You want just the basic chocolate. But because it is bitter, you might add it to something. So dark chocolate is really famous for being added on top of cakes, cookies, and cocoa. And this time of year, cocoa is the way to go, I'm thinking, right? It's cold out. Wednesday, it is Tater Tots Day. Now, there's a picture of me with French fries. Yes, I understand. Did you know that tater tots are the result of the leftovers when people make French fries and they turn it into something they call tater tots? So a company that made French fries, pretty famous French fry company, Ore-Ida, were making fries, and they said, what can we do with this leftover stuff? Because we cut the peels and everything. We have some peeling left, and we have some just ends that aren't good enough to become French fries, but still can be eaten. So they decided to mash them together and fry those. And look what we got. We have tater tots. Do you like tater tots? Tater tots are basically French fries into a little nugget form, right? And that's basically what it is. It's left over from making French fries and a way to eat that. Now, the best thing people do is when they use something and they use every little piece of it to make something. I know that most people don't eat the skin on a potato, but they do make potato skins. They fry them, and that is a snack people eat too. So think about this. You can eat French fries. You can eat the skin outside. And you can take whatever you don't eat, mash it together, fry that up, make tater tots, or some people call them, you can make home fries out of those, or hash browns. That's another thing. Basically, it's something that you just put together, mash together, and fry. But try this out. Potatoes are great. I eat potatoes all the time. And but if I was a giant fry package, I probably wouldn't eat my hair like I'm doing here. Just weird, but anyways, tater tots. Thursday the 3rd is Optimist Day. What does optimist mean? Well, it's opposite of pessimist. Optimist means someone who always looks on the bright side and looks forward to things and always sees the good in something. Could be a situation, could be a person. A pessimist is opposite and sees bad things. And guess what? We're not either one or the other. Every situation is different, and maybe we see the good and bad of each situation, or maybe just one or the other. But in general, I have an attitude or a view of the world that is optimistic. I think we can make things change, we can make things better, we can make ourselves better, and that's just the way to think. Now, it's not always rainbows and clouds like you see here and everyone's smiling. Sometimes being optimistic means you know that things are going to get better, but they might have to get worse soon. That's kind of the same thing with going on with COVID, right? But being optimistic means you know that eventually things are going to work out, and you just have to be resilient and have grit, right? You need to be strong and get through it, and just remain optimistic, because things are always going to be better and things are going to be different. And you know what? Different is better many times. So be optimistic, but not just on Thursday, every day. And Friday the 4th, it is Bubblegum Day. Ooh, bubblegum is 92 years old. Made by an accountant that worked for the Fleer Company, 1920 something. And this was I think a person was 23 years old and wanted to make a gum that was more stretchy and more chewy. And this person was the accountant there, so they worked with the numbers, and they just said, I want to figure out how to do something that could blow bubbles, and figured it out. And they made this, they called it Double Bubble, which I still think they have around, and everyone loved it. And bubble gum, wow, how big a bubble can you make? I think that one of the biggest ones was over 20 or 30 inches. And yes, people take different gum, they put it in their mouth, chew, try to blow a bubble. I've never seen one so big that you could get inside of it like this, but hey, I haven't seen the competition lately. I know people are able to eat a lot of food and do certain things and stuff like that with their body that most people can't. So maybe chewing bubble gum and making a giant bubble big enough to lay down on like a beanbag, maybe that's happened already. I guess we have YouTube for that. So anyways, chew some bubble gum. Try that. If you've never blown a bubble before, definitely do it around people you know that are safe. You can take a mask off. And yeah, find a flavor that you like. Probably not too much sugar. I think you have to get a balance. But I know a few from my childhood that I think made really big bubbles. But definitely don't fill your mouth out too much, because you need some space to blow it up. Yeah. So anyways, thank you for watching. Subscribe for these weekly videos. Thumbs up. All that works. Try some bubblegum this week. Try some dark chocolate. Try things you haven't tried before. Remain optimistic. We'll get through the rough times in life together and celebrate something.